You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
Alrighty, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley coming to you from the Dever Team studios, and this is Knightline at Night, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com for a free consultation there as well. I messed that up. Also call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature on the WDBO app, which I hope you're listening on as well. I am AP Knightline on Twitter, or UCF_Knightline on Twitter. I got Ben Stout here with me. He is at Big Social 32 on Twitter. And we got Roger Phipps in the Santa Rosa Beach studios, and his Twitter handle is at Night Bengal. You can also find everything that we do on NightlineSports.com. We finally have a football game to talk about that was actually played.
That's right. Living that 1-0 life.
Very exciting stuff. A big game the other day on Saturday. UCF and Georgia Tech. And I was very happy. 49-21 was the final score. Lots of offense for UCF, 600 and something
660 yards. I believe. We rocked them.
Yeah.
There was a time that I remember going on the road against an ACC opponent. We were very worried about that game, or we were just hoping to come out there with our dignity. And nowadays we go in there expecting to win and blow them out, and that's just what we did in the first game of the season. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Dylan Gabriel with 417 yards passing, and then on the ground via running back by committee, 272 yards on the ground. So very, very good day. 4 touchdowns for Dylan Gabriel, 1 interception and a fumble, but it is what it is. Roger, you haven't said anything yet, so chime in here.
I was just listening to all the goodness flow through the microphone, man. It was amazing stuff. No, hey, man, I'm excited. I know we kind of have this thing that we kind of do now where we say that because everybody's excited, but man, was it great to watch football again, man. And, as I had said last week, I was concerned that we might come out a little rusty. There was a lot of challenges with this whole coronavirus thing and people not being able to practice on a normal schedule. But you watch them come out the gate, and man, were they on fire. I mean, Dylan, outside of the third quarter, which was a little messy, and a lot of that I think was us being thrown out of rhythm with all of these injuries, both fake and real, and then a lot of penalties. But
there were definitely some of those fake ones in there.
Oh, dude, I haven't seen so many Charlie horses in such a long time. And you get those bananas for those guys before they come out.
Yeah.
That being said, outside of that, the offense really clicked. I mean, like you said, 200 and change on the ground, 400 through the air, and that just equates to a lot of scoring. And the big key, and this is something we talked about last week too, was turnovers. And they did a great job getting those turnovers. Our freshman, Mr. Seliskar, I'm finally getting his name right.
Yep.
Did excellent. He got an interception, a D-line interception, and he forced a fumble and recovered it. And then we had another D-lineman intercept one.
Seliskar, his very first game in college football, period. Josh Heupel and Josh Seliskar. Yeah, unbelievable job by that guy. And I don't know if you saw the video of him at the podium giving a press conference. It was actually on Monday that he got to talk, and they let him talk, a freshman. He's not a freshman. They let him talk
because he played like a senior.
Yeah. And he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He does not look that huge on the football field, but behind that podium, he's a big man.
He definitely played big on Saturday,
absolutely.
that's for sure.
I got a clip here. Let's hear what Josh Heupel had to say after the game.
Just the build-up of what's happened here over the last 6 months. So I said to the players in the locker room, the uncertainty of tomorrow for the last 6 months, when are we going to get back together? When am I going to be able to come back to school and work out? When do I get to be around my teammates? Do we get to practice? Don't we get to practice? Are we going to play or are we not going to play? Shoot, they didn't know until 9:30 this morning for sure that we were going to play. It's a group that the brotherhood is real. It's strong here inside of our locker room. They do love one another, man. Really proud of them for staying the course together and growing together over the last 6 months. They've made our coaching staff better. We're closer. We're better as a football family than we were when we got away from each other in early March. Today, for them to go out and compete the way that they did, we give up a kick return early, right? Ball's on the 25-yard line, 30-yard line. They hit one play, go score. Defense doesn't flinch, goes and causes 6 turnovers the rest of the day, man. Played lights out. Offensively, do some really good things in the first half. Obviously, the turnover on the fumble, but where you got a chance to continue to punch the score up a little bit. Then the third quarter, we just never got into a rhythm, played behind chains, didn't play with tempo. They pull it to a 2-possession game, and they answer right back. Marlon played fantastic, played strong. Trey Nixon played his butt off. Some young wideouts played really well when given the opportunity. Jalen Robinson made a bunch of plays, and God, you just look at the ability of our kids and our team to adjust. Really proud of what they did during the 60 minutes of football. Speak volumes about our football family. It starts with the players, though. The investment that they've made. We had some kids opt out. We understood why those kids were opting out. There's some unique circumstances that they're dealing with, but our program is built on going 1-0 and not blinking and continuing to compete. They've done that every day. Once we got on the football field, they've competed in a great way, and that's why you're able to go out and perform in week 1. Your first ball game of the season on the road against a football team, that just had a big win last week. I think it speaks to our football program. It speaks to the strength of what we are on the football field, and we're on a journey of going 1-0, trying to do that every day, do that every week. We get a scoreboard this week that says we were able to be good enough, and looking forward to the next opportunity.
All right. Well, that was Josh Heupel, head coach of the UCF Knights. He said it all right there. Gave a very good description of the game. I know that was a little bit of a long clip. I should have said it was something more than a clip, but he said it all. Talked about the 6 turnovers, which was a really big deal. 5 actually got on the stats, I believe, but it was just really an amazing game. Head coach Jeff Collins of Georgia Tech also had some impressive things to say about UCF. He worked at UCF before as a defensive coach. Here's what he had to say real quick.
First off, hats off to UCF, 12th ranked team in the country. Pretty good reasons why they're 35-4, whatever the record is over the last 3 years. That was a good football team. We were doing a lot of really good things, but then the second you misfit something, the second you lose a step in coverage, they're explosive, they're dynamic, they can make big-time plays. So we've seen it. We knew going into it what it was going to be, and continue to try to impress that upon our guys. But when you see it, live and in person, hats off to them with the way they run it. Obviously, the Gabriel kid is a really good player, quick release, accurate with the balls, can throw a deep ball very well. So hats off to him. He's a really, really good player. He showed it all last year. Unfortunately, he showed it tonight as well.
Number 6, Marlon Williams had a big day, 10 catches, 2 touchdowns, and a couple of times he ran by the safeties. What did you see from him, and What was the difficulty in trying to stop him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a really good player, explosive offense, and they moved him around a bunch. And, just some things. We had guys on him, but he's a big-time player, and he made some big-time plays tonight. So just hats off to him. We've got to get better. I'm with those guys every day on the back end, and we were rolling a bunch of guys in and with the tempo and all those kind of things, but really good player. And, again, hats off to UCF. They made the plays that they needed to make. They created turnovers that they needed to create. When they needed the big plays, they made the big plays.
All right, well, it doesn't get that much better from a opposing head coach, talking about your team like that. He mentioned Marlon Williams in there.
Yeah.
Coach Heupel mentioned him as well. What a game by Marlon Williams. I've been looking for that from him for a long time. He really hasn't had the chance because of the depth in front of him to have a game like that. 10 catches, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, his longest being 40-yard catch. Unbelievable game by him.
Yeah, I mentioned last week that, my kind of faux prediction for the season is that Marlon is going to lead our team in receptions. It's certainly on his way to doing that. He just stepped up huge, especially when Trey went down. He just kind of stepped into that kind of number one option role, and Dylan was looking to him, but Dylan was making some amazing plays, and he certainly, or amazing throws, I should say, and he certainly was. I mean, some of those catches those were big league throws, big league catches from Marlon Williams, and so proud of the way he stepped up, that's for sure.
Couple other new faces as well. Jalen Robinson, we haven't really seen him play before. He's a transfer. I think he was from, was it Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, that's right.
Little receiver guy, not the biggest guy, but he is very fast. Jay Flash is who they were talking about there when Coach Heupel said that. 6 catches for 105 yards as well. Very exciting player. Fast, twitchy. So I'm looking forward to him. Trey Nixon, on the other hand, may have a little bit of a problem. UCF does not talk about injuries, obviously, but it is understood, I believe, that he either hurt his shoulder or his collarbone and probably will be out for a good while, unfortunately, because he is the leader of the receivers, the senior, and, was probably technically our best receiver. So,
yeah.
Marlon Williams will fill those shoes very good, though, and I'm really looking forward to that. Roger, you got anything?
I was just going to say on the Jalen Robinson thing, we were expecting him inside, but he played well on the outside on bubble screens and things like that, and Marlon was actually a benefactor from that because he was killing it in the first half, and then they started moving the defense, so they were double covering him, which opened up the field for Marlon, but Marlon was still a man because he had some good coverage on him, and he came down with some excellent circus catches in traffic and with guys hanging all over him.
Yeah, running backs, Greg McCrae, 9 carries for 50 yards. Otis Anderson, 18 carries for 94. Bentavious Thompson, 12 carries for 36. Dylan Gabriel, 8 carries for 47. We got to see Johnny Richardson, which was exciting too. 2 carries for 24 yards, but those were exciting carries. They were an average of 12 yards per carry, so that was exciting. We'll be taking a little bit of a break here, and we're going to be right back on Knightline at night, talking a little bit more UCF football.
Raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney is our commitment to you at Chad Barr Law. I'm Chad Barr, and as a UCF alum, I am proud to present Knightline at Night, Central Florida's only call-in show dedicated to our UCF Knights, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. And remember, if you or a loved one are injured in an auto accident, call us at 407-599-9036 to schedule your free consultation or visit us at chadbarlaw.com. Offices Altamont Springs. Go Knights, charge on.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
I'm Jeff Allen. In addition to UCF's trouncing of Georgia Tech, the other action featuring American teams included Navy rallying from a 24-0 deficit to beat Tulane 27-24. SMU blasted North Texas 65-35. Cincinnati crushed Austin Peay 55-20. Tulsa took a 7-3 lead to the fourth quarter against number 11 Oklahoma State, but dropped a 16-7 decision. And South Florida was shut out by Notre Dame 52-0. We'll get you set for this week's contest, including our Spotlight Game of the Week, Tulsa versus Southern Miss, with J.P. Gooderham of FearTheWave.com on the AAC Report only on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night. My name is Andrew Phegley. I've got Ben Stout here with me, Roger Phipps as well. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. Call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. But you can call us, 844-580-WDBO. 844-580-9326 is the number, or you can use the open mic feature on the WDBO app. We are talking UCF Knights, of course. It's Nightline at Night, so that's what we do. Still talking about the game from Georgia Tech. Still very, very excited about that. Ben, I didn't let you talk too much on the last stint there, so I'm going to let you go here.
Yeah, one of the things from the clip that you played of Heupel that he mentioned in the beginning there is that the team didn't know for sure if they were going to play this game until 9:30 the morning of the game. And just imagine that emotion leading up to that moment. I mean, you saw for the basketball team back in March, they were about to take the court for warm-ups and realized that the conference tournament was no more. I mean, this has been one heck of an off season for them, and for them to go through all that emotion leading up to it, and then for Dylan Gabriel to, take a look at the defense on his first drive of the game and realize that they are Georgia Tech completely game planned differently than they had ever showed on film before. I think I can't say enough about how well Dylan played, not only just some of the throws that he made, but the adjustments, him talking with coach on the sideline. The coaching staff made some great adjustments as well. And I mean, 417, 4 touchdowns. It kind of, at the end of it, even as spectacular it played, it almost seemed like he could have been even more of a stat filler than that. It was like if they
would have played in the third quarter, it would have been amazing.
Exactly. It reminded me of a little bit of McKenzie in 2018, where he would have over 400 yards in a game, or he would just be spectacular. But it was kind of like a quiet 400 yards or a quiet 4 touchdowns. The maturity of this kid is really on display, and his command of the offense, and I'm just pumped to see how good he's getting and how his ceiling isn't even close to being reached yet.
Well, yeah, you remember the difference between McKenzie his freshman year and his sophomore year. We kept talking about what is it going to be like for Dylan, because Dylan played a better freshman season, honestly, stat-wise, than McKenzie Milton did. Mm-hmm. So I think you saw it. I think you saw what the difference was and is. Ball placement, throwing to the right person, the vision down the field.
Throwing people open, too.
Right.
That was a big thing that he didn't display as much last year. He kind of threw to his first check and whatever, but I mean, throwing people open, kind of like seeing before that receiver was open, that's a progression of his talent that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we're talking about the UCF Georgia Tech game that took place last Saturday, 49-21 UCF over Georgia Tech, seen by a lot of people on ABC. And our game that we're going to talk about in a little while here as well in the second half of the show is going to be seen on ABC as well at 12 o'clock. That news breaking today. The Notre Dame game was canceled, Wake Forest, Notre Dame, so they put us back in that ABC slot, which is awesome. We will take it.
Yeah.
That puts UCF right in front of a national audience, and we will always take that.
And we earned it last week, not only with the play on the field, but we had very high ratings. Article today that we're the fourth highest rated UCF game. I mean, we're definitely getting some a lot of people interested around the country in UCF, and
just over 3 million supposedly watched that game. So those are
30% higher than last year's game in that slot.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah. All right, very, very good. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that ECU game coming up. We're going to take a break here in just about a minute. So. Yeah, and we will definitely be talking about that. Let's just take that break now.
All right, sounds good.
It's a little easier to do it late. I didn't want to start something and then not be able to get it. All right, we'll be back on Knightline at Night.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this. We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network. Thank you for your time, and now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Oh, wait. I'm being told in my ear that this is a podcast, and there are no schedules. Well, this is awkward.
Hey, Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain, or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I am Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. And then you can call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs. He will hook you up. 386-690-1636. I got Ben Stout here with me, Roger Phipps as well from the Santa Rosa Beach Studios.
What?
And we are talking UCF football. We're going to go to a call, though. We have our good friend Andrew from Oviedo on the line. Andrew, are you there?
Hey, good evening, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you, man? Did you make it up to the game? I know we were talking about this the last week.
I did not. But I definitely felt good Monday morning walking into two Georgia Tech coworkers who were
I love it.
rather silent that day.
Absolutely.
But,
what's on your mind, man?
Well, kind of going back to how we performed before you start the next week, I was kind of want to know your thoughts on that egg that team out west played, and wanted to kind of want to get you guys' thoughts of. I know that there are rivals and stuff, but what is your motivation for not liking them, other than them being our quote unquote rivals? But what is it that fuels your, I wouldn't say hatred, but enjoying their missteps, enjoying one gaffe after another?
You mean these guys? These guys right here? Yeah.
Yeah, those passion
Those guys, okay. Well, I'm going to let Ben go with this one first. I'm going to let the alumni, because I'm not a UCF alumni.
Right.
I went to Kansas, but I hate them too.
I think, what do I hate? I think I could sum it up in one score, 62-12. I mean, every time we get a chance to play them, I can't wait to continually avenge that day. And the legends of the past or whatever the opposite of a legend, the villains of the past, Jim Leavitt and Matt Grothe. I mean, they're just I just can't stand those guys and their fan base, and I'm happy to see them lose any chance I get.
Roger, what about you?
If I could be blunt.
I don't know. We were talking about being hangry in the break, and all I could think about is steak now. But
good old ribeye.
At this. Good old ribeye. But for me, I'm an alum as well, and I go back to 1999. So seeing these guys, they got a real leg up in getting in the Big East and doing as much as they did to keep us down really was frustrating. And there was a lot of narcissism, both in their fans and, as you mentioned, the aforementioned beer truck driver, Matt Grothe. But at the end of the day, it was just that attitude, that air, the Jim, as they like to call him. There was a lot more vitriol being thrown around back in those days than the current matchup. So I love the fact that we're going to tie the series this year, and I hate the fact when they have success. So watching them go 52-0. Just brings me happiness and cheer.
And I guess my thing is, I mean, since I do multiple UCF shows, that I've embraced the brand, and I've heard and followed the history and all that stuff, and it's just a rival.
Yeah,
it is the rivalry that UCF has. And I still think that UCF has a rivalry with ECU, and I think they have a rivalry with Marshall still.
Right.
So there's nothing better in college football than rivals. I went to the university.
Thinks they have a rivalry with us too.
Yeah, they've never they beat us one time
yeah.
in 20 years or whatever. But I went to Kansas, so our rival was Missouri. I've always said I wouldn't even stop to pee if I had to in Columbia, Missouri. It's just one of those things. What about you, though? I know you're an alumni as well. You played in the band, all kinds of stuff. What does it mean to you?
I think with me is when I first started the band basically in 2005, and that was an interesting year. Just because it was my first time seeing USF, and they beat us handily, but it was on all aspects. It was students, it was the football play. Even the band was talking trash to us, which confused me as a band member because I thought we were all on the same team. But carrying on each year just got worse and worse. And I think the 2007 year was obviously sticking a thumb in the eye. But what really stuck out to me was 2008. When we had them at home, and Rocky Ross got that last catch to take us into overtime, and I thought we're going to finally beat them, and then we didn't beat them in overtime, and just them between the fans, everybody else just laughing at us saying, you had 4 straight years to beat us, you didn't do it, we're going to go into greener pastures, no pun intended, and just left us in the dust. And that just so irked me that I knew we can beat them. So many things just did not happen. And that's always sat with me. And seeing them, the opportunity they had, and they just wasted it, makes me feel so much better and sleep good at night. And knowing that they had such an opportunity, such a pedestal to start from, and they didn't know what to do with it.
Absolutely.
You know what USF is? They're that like your freshman, sophomore year of high school. They're that bully that thought they were awesome back then, and they thought they were always going to be awesome. And they were that bully that just thought they were going to be great forever, and they put you down. And then all of a sudden, you look back, 20 years removed from high school, and they're living in a trailer park down by the river somewhere, and amounted to nothing. And you're on top of your game. I mean, that's USF in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
So you're saying it's the guy from Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, man, thank you so much for your call. That was a good one. I like that a lot because it got us thinking and telling a little bit of stories. I root for 3 football teams. I root for Kansas, UCF, and whoever plays the Cows.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. All right. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. All right, so in a couple of minutes that we have before we have to take a break, let's talk about ECU. Roger, I want you to take this one if you can.
Okay, couple minutes. I'll try to be brief. First of all, this is their first game of the year, which is going to be interesting because the shoe will be on the other foot. They have a lot of young players, but they've got a good offense, and especially towards the end of the year, they were trending up. Their quarterback, Holton Ahlers, he has also been trending up, and his completion percentage has been going well and keeps going up, and his QBR is as well. He's passing for big yards. He's a big body guy, 6'3", 226 pounds, so he's hard to get down. And they had a young receiving core. Most of them were freshmen last year. They are now receivers. A name to look out for, C.J. Johnson. Their defense has been pretty terrible. So we expect that to continue this year. They do have a couple of very large cornerbacks at 6 foot, 200 pounds and 209 pounds. So look out for those guys. But other than that, their defense has been really, really poor, and they're undersized across the D-line. So I expect our offensive line, who did fairly well against Georgia Tech, to really manhandle these guys. So look out for the run game. And with the passing game, I think we'll be in good shape as well. So if we're 27-ish point favorites now, so the expectation is high. But when you're taking a look at this game, it's really going to be what can Holton Ahlers do, because he is a running quarterback. He was actually their second leading rusher for the year last year. And if we can shut down Holton Ahlers, who, remember, that containment that we are always talking about has always been a problem for UCF lately. If we can shut that down and get better about our keys and keeping him contained, I think it's going to be a long night for ECU.
Yeah, last year Holton Ahlers threw for over 300 yards against us. We beat them 41-28 last year, I believe it was October 19th, 2019. The last time ECU won against us was 2015, and they beat us 44-7. So, we can always, pay them back still for that. So
absolutely. A lot of teams beat us in 2015, unfortunately.
All the teams beat us in 2015. So
we had our own dance.
Exactly, yeah. So they have a new defensive coordinator. I do know that. So that could be interesting. Here's what Josh Heupel had to say real quick about ECU.
Just look at what East Carolina did the second half of last season. Put up a bunch of points, played in a bunch of tight football games, found ways to win some of them. Year 2 for their staff. They've had a long off season. I know that they're going to be excited to play this one. Our guys got to surpass that energy and excitement, and it's the only one we get an opportunity to play this week. Our kids will be excited and ready and prepare the right way. First ball game from them, new defensive coordinator, so not sure what you're going to get on that side of the football. Offensively, a quarterback that played really well down the stretch last year, explosive at the skill positions, and their first opportunity to play. I know they're going to be excited, and I said that earlier. It's going to be unique for our players, right? An empty venue, nobody in the stands. We talked about creating energy and momentum and sustaining that a week ago. It's going to be critical in this game too.
All right, that'll be at noon on ABC. We're a 27-point favorite at this time.
Now, remember, they did play Cincinnati 46-43 last year. So then they played SMU 59-51. So they can score points. Their defense, though, let up 300 yards in the last 5 games. So they averaged 300 yards on rushing that they allowed in the last 5 games. So that's really going to be a key for us.
Yeah, my favorite thing to look at on like ESPN.com is that little matchup predictor thing. I love that little circle.
You love it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm a visual guy, and I like to see percentages and things visually. So I like it. So we're a 94.5 favorite. So they have a 5.5 chance of winning this game. They say ESPN is saying that at this point. So. I don't think that Josh Heupel is taking them lightly. I don't think that our team will be taking them lightly, and they shouldn't, especially when you're this big of a favorite, because there's nothing worse than doing something wrong and it all goes the wrong way, and you lose a game that you were favored 27 points by.
I mean, we were favored going over to Tulsa last year as well. I mean, you just never know, and ECU is one of those opponents, although we've killed them the last few years, as we've killed a lot of people. But certainly were that old school rivalry for us, and they're going to be coming ready to play. I mean, we're going to get everyone's best shot this year, so certainly we're going to not take them lightly and move on. And this year, 9 games, we need to make sure we go on the road. If we're especially going on the road against any opponent, we need to make sure we make statements every time we get an opportunity to get it. And
especially on noon on ABC, you have to make that statement. Yes. These are the games that the college football committee are watching. These are probably the only games they're watching.
Right.
The ones that are on primetime, college football. On national network, probably the ones that they're going to see of UCF. So we need to definitely make that a thing where we go out there and really pound these guys, hopefully. At least by that 27 points, it would be nice to have that for sure.
And last year, Dylan Gabriel had 365 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he had a solid game by his measurements. Against them. So I'd look for more of that as well. And as Roger mentioned, they at least last year were very soft on the run defense side. So hopefully we can repeat that, and then really we need to contain C.J. Johnson on the outside, their wide receiver. He's a good player, and he had a great game against us last year, and so we need to make sure we can contain Ehlers and Johnson.
All righty. Hey, we need to take a little bit of a break here, I know. UCF and ECU have squared off 18 times in the history of the two programs. It's one of their longest rivalries, and I think it's the team that they've played the most. So... all right, we'll talk a little bit more about it on Knightline at Night when we come back from this break.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, or the open mic feature in the WDBO app. I got Ben Stout here with me. I got Roger Phipps with me. We're talking a little bit about the ECU game. We've been talking about the Georgia Tech game earlier. We did a recap on all that stuff. Still got ECU coming up. We need to, I guess, make some kind of predictions or something, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to do
or
that?
Or something.
Yeah, so how about you start, Roger? I think it was it your idea? I can't remember whose idea it was.
No, it was Ben's.
It was Ben's idea. So we'll We'll let Ben go first. Ben,
you're gonna let me go first?
Yeah.
I bet a Price is Right, you Bob.
That's quite all right. I will step out there and be the first contestant. I just honestly think that we're gonna. This is going to be. Remember that. What was it? The Cincinnati game in 2017 where we just went in there and just like in 3 quarters just blew them out, just completely ran up the score to like over 60 points. I think this is going to be one of those nights, or one of those days, I guess you should say. 62-24. I think that they might shake loose for a couple touchdowns to get 24 points, but our guys are just going to be too much for them. In the second half, we just really stepped the foot on the gas. 62 points, 62-24 is my score.
All right, Roger.
Well, Ben, I had very similar thinking, although I went a little bit less. I went 56-21. My thinking behind that is I do think we'll boat race them out the gate. And Hype does not like to put his foot on people's throats too often. Plus, we want to protect Dylan given COVID and everything else. So I'm going to say we get out early fast. I do think they put some points on the board because I do think we're going to have a problem containing Ehlers. That being said, it'll be either Navarro or quad time.
I hope so.
Okay. Did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. I'm just done with my thought.
Did you say your score? I didn't even hear it.
Yeah, 56-21, man.
Okay, 56-21. Sorry, I wasn't listening, I guess. All right, so
Wow.
I think, I don't listen when you talk most of the time, Roger. It's okay. It's normal. So I'm going to say that because of the 9 games and because it's on ABC and because we need to make a statement, I'm going to say that he does put the pedal down to the metal, and, really racks up the score as much as possible. I think those starters come out early in the fourth quarter, and our guys just keep going. I think those little running backs that we got, Richardson gets going, and we still continue crushing them. And I'm going to say 70-14.
Holy
wow!
Yeah. That would be something.
It would be, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a prediction as what I want to see. That's what I want.
That's what I
want to
see
70 points. I want to see 700 yards of offense or more. Do it. Why not?
Yeah,
All right, who delivers it? Is it Navarro or Quad?
It'll probably be Quadri.
I think Quadri comes out there second.
It'll probably be Quad, and Quad can sling it. So he can sling it with the best of them, and he can run good too. We've only seen him throw touchdowns.
Yeah, is this the game that Quadri Jones has an incomplete pass? Is this the one?
Probably.
Yeah,
the man has scored 3 touchdowns in his career, I believe, 2 or 3, and they've each been just one shot straight to the end zone.
Yeah,
so.
So when his QBR tanks because he misses one pass, is Night Nation going to be all up in arms?
Exactly. Yeah, they're going to be like, "Oh, he's horrible! Don't put him in there. He's horrible." Yeah. So. All right, well, it's going to be UCF at ECU, noon on ABC again. So noon on ABC, that's a wonderful time to play. It'll start your day off. You'll have plenty of time to continue the celebration afterwards. You don't have to go to bed early, nothing like that. You can cook some burgers at halftime if you have a chance, whatever, So, all right. This has been Knightline at Night. Appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back next week, I think, unless there's a debate on. We may not be on. Not sure.